Okay guys, a lot of talk in the community. I'm going to go over what formation gives the best AI movement, what stats affect AI movement, and a few other things regarding what's the best formations for AI movement, everything else. Now before I start, I'm going to tell you some cold hard truth. Forget about AI movement. Since FIFA 18, there's been no AI movement. You can try your best. You can try long ball and forward runs. Now this for me are the two most important things for AI movement. A, long ball, which makes your players make runs going forward, and forward runs when you're in a final third that makes the players make runs behind. This is the only movement you're going to get. The rest is all to do with instructions like getting behind. Now we're going to go over work rates in a second. This is important, okay? So if you have a formation, okay, and this is balanced, and you don't use L1 triggers, you're going to have no movement. I've got a video on this. I've explained this before. The best formation you can use is 3-5-2. There's three reasons why, okay? I'm going to show you the first, okay? Imagine there was the main two formations, the 4-2-3-1. Then you have the 4-4-2. And then let's say you've got 4-4-2, then you've got a 4-1-2-1-2, okay? So let's say all these formations. Now, as you can see, from the attacking sense, it's a 4-1-2-1-2 to left mid, right mid. It's a 4-2-3-1 with two strikers, and it's a 4-4-2 with a camp. So in theory, this will give you all the three main formations together, but also gives you attacking support everywhere, whether you play with left backs and right backs. Now, why this is important, okay, because it's something I really want to advocate. Again, I have to be candid here, okay? There's a few things that affect. Now, I'm not going to give you some la-la land, pretend, oh, this player moves here, whatever. I'm not going to pretend that. Listen, when you put a player on balanced, okay, attack and support, okay, if you leave them on stay back, they're gonna stay back. They're never gonna go forward. People keep saying they go forward. They never go forward. You can have someone who's got low defensive work rates and high attacking work rates. They'll be a bit more further in front, but they're never gonna go back unless you send them forward. You make that mistake, they will not go forward. Okay. Now, when you put them on balance, they adhere to work rates. Okay. So when the player's on balance, this is when they resort to what's their work rate. So if you put someone that's high, they're going to go forward equally well, and high, they're going to defend equally well as well. They're going to go back and forward. That movement depends on their work rates. Now, I'll tell you a little secret, okay? I'm telling you, I've done as much studying into this. I found nothing, okay? I don't even think there's anything in this. If you're looking for an attacker for the best AI movement, it's high attacking work rates, ideally what you want to use, and the best positioning. Those two together is the best that you can do when selecting a player. Now, do you know why all these pro players go 20-0 with this gold team and they have all these tactics on balanced? Do you know why? It's not because they live close to the servers or any other nonsense that I hear. It's because they use L1 triggers. This is what I've been trying to promote for the past 2 years of my life now, maybe 2-3 years now. Ever since I started in FIFA 19 should I say. I'm trying to tell you, you got to use it yourself. If you're expecting Mbappe to make some amazing movements, they're not. They're not. I know you're going to say to me, oh, some players move in this way. Now, if you want my honest opinion, I studied this game, I swear I don't see anything. I see sometimes there's some plays, but it depends on what formation you use, how your team's set up, and your opponent's team as well. If you play this Mbappe against a top-tier pro player, then Mbappe's not going to make some inverted run and go into a through ball. It's not going to work like that. So that's why I think formation comes into play. The reason why I suggest this one is because you have two strikers, you have a cam, and you have a left mid and right mid. Normally, fullbacks are so wide, they're not really introduced too much into attack. They're mainly good for going down the wing. But with left mid, right mid, they provide us attacking options. Now, if you put a player to cut inside, that player is going to cut inside every single time. You're going to lose the AI movement. If you put that player on balanced, they will cut inside. They might stay wide. If, for example, another player is going in the middle, in between Valverde and Zambrotta, let's say in theory, let's say Olga was running in between, then Zambrotta would go out wide. That is the only difference that you can kind of force someone to make that movement. Apart from that, there's no other movement. I'm not going to paint you some false picture. This is reality now. I'm not going to be one of those creators that sits there. There's people always ask me, why don't you talk about attacking movement, attacking AI? It's nonsense if you're asking me. A player will move on the player itself. There's a few cards. I know there's people. I know there's a few cards that maybe people find that move better. If you're asking me, I agree. There is a few cards that move better, few individual cards, and few cards that you might get used to because you like how they're positioned. But if you're asking me, personally speaking, They don't make it consistent enough. It is not like FIFA 17 or even 18 when it was reduced, when players would make those intelligent runs into space, inverted runs. It's not when you push a fullback going forward, your wing will always go in the inside to make that amazing run. It doesn't work like that. You have to do a lot of these things manually with creative runs, dynamic runs, player lock. That is why I recommend the L1 button and player lock. You need to use it. This is why I say to everyone, top tier pro player and even an elite player. Let's be honest, elite nowadays is so easy to get into. With all due respect, with no relegation, so easy to get into. You see these top tier pros, you may sit here and be like, I'm going to copy that pro set. Do you know why it doesn't work for you? It's because they know when to use L1 triggers. So that is why I would say, if you are looking for an attacking player, high attacking work rates and the best positioning, then at that point, they may make some runs sometimes, but you're going to have to do everything yourself. L1 and use your right analog stick. If you want that player to make a diagonal run, then you do it yourself. Do not rely on AI, because they will do it sometimes, but they won't do it all the time. I always put getting behind, because when you win the ball back, getting behind is basically the same as long ball. That is why, for example, to use the 4-2-3-1 without long ball, it's a joke. Okay, there's only a few players, I would say few top tier players that can play this formation without long ball, because there's no getting behind. Players that just stand there and they do nothing. You have to do L1 triggers. L1 triggers in a player going forward, or you got to do a 1-2 pass, an L1 plus X. I thought you've seen thousands of gameplay. Players think they do it, but they don't do it enough. I'm always spamming the L1 button. In an attack phase, probably spamming it like 10, 11, 12 times, not just once or twice to trigger players to go forward. So that's what's going to create movement. You don't believe me? Check out my movement video and I'll show you. So even if you've got 99 rated players here, it's not the team's fault. Yeah, you're laughing because they're making money out of everyone, and everyone's now falling for this nonsense saying they need a better team. I agree, now the pay to win gap is higher, but to be honest, with a 1 million or 2 million coin team, you're still going to do decently well. If you have a 15 million coin team, it's not good. How many people do you think are watching this video right now that have got a 10, 15 million coin team and still don't even get even rank 3? You'll be shocked. This is what I'm going to say at the end of the day. Long ball is the best thing that you can use. Fast ball play makes them run quicker, but long ball I would say is the best balance, because balance, they just stand there. Okay, you can put a player on, for example, balanced instruction. They may go forward if they got high attacking work rates, but you got to wait for them. You put them on get forward all the time, they're always going to get forward. This tells them to go all the time. This tells them to stay back. And this says, look at your work rate. So if you put someone that's high here, they're going to equally go forward as well as defending. Same with the RAM. If I put this on balanced, okay, if I've got someone who's got high, low work rates like Mbappe, that player is going to stay forward. And when you lose the ball, you will see, go into a game, put someone in RAM and put them on balanced. You're going to see it takes them a long time to come back with high, low work rate. So the best thing you can do in your favor is the positioning, and the same with defending, okay? Now, one thing I figured out is the way I've kind of amalgamated all these things together is because when I used to use fullbacks in centre back, not just for pace, it was for pressing. When they nerfed it, the only way you can play a fullback and centre back right now is the defensive work rate is high. If not, because EA nerfed them, they are out of position. But if you use high defensive work rate, it reduces the amount that position gets nerfed. So if you're looking for players that are good centre backs, good CDMs, you want to focus on high defensive work rates. For anyone that's attacker, you want high. Someone like Messi, for example, I'm just going to give you an example. We're going to use Team of the Year Messi. You can see he's medium low, okay? If you leave this is a little secret. This will depend on certain players. If you leave, let's say you have a 4-3-3. This is not the really best example. Or do you know what? Maybe I can do this in a 4-3-2-1. It might be the best example I can actually draw up here. If I do this in a 4-3-2-1. If I leave Messi here on balanced, for example, he may sometimes make these unique movements because of his work rates. When you get the ball back, he's in a position where he's not defending all the way, but neither is he attacking all the way. So he's kind of in that middle. So sometimes you might find that player in better space. What I mean by that is, because let's say Messi's work rates is medium low, right? If he's on balance, you're telling the game, okay, as you can see, occasionally makes forward opportunity arises. Realistically, you're not forcing a player to stay back or go forward. So the game will be like, okay, we got someone like Messi. Messi's with the ball. Now, when you lose the ball, Messi's got low defensive work rates. He's not going to run he's not going to haul all the way back and run back to defense situation. Be kind of like jogging back at the very slowest pace. And because he's got medium attacking work rates, he equally, when you win the ball back, won't go straight away attacking. So that is how sometimes you get those. That's why some players, if you see some people who play the 4-3-3 at a top tier level, there's certain things like medium, or they prefer someone to have high. Because that way you have one centre mid that's positioned quite differently from the other one. That's what I like to do. That is the only attacking AI movement you're going to get. If you put this player on false 9, you know, people say, oh, false 9. Do you think they're going to turn into Messi and occupy these space in between the defensive line and the striker line? The game's not programmed to do that. Messi will stay there, drop it deep to come and collect the ball, but he will not be an attacking slot. You can only use false 9 if you use L1 triggers or 1-2s, or that player's going to stand still. You don't believe me? Go inside. I guarantee this. Go inside a game, go play your best players, and go put build up play and chance creation on balance in a final third. Hold the ball, record the clip. I challenge anyone. Go send me a clip where you see someone consistently making runs, because they will never do it. If anything, they won't make runs at all. If you put a player on, for example, target player, they're not going to make those runs in behind as soon as you win the ball back. And also, getting behind, this is when you win the ball back. This is not the final third. The final third relies on forward runs and direct passing. These two are the best. I think forward runs is more attacking than direct passing, and that is why I've been using forward runs for years. It's more attacking than direct passing as well. Are they similar? Yes, they are. But when it comes to attacking AI, I want to be candid here. Don't rely on the game to do it for you. Yes, some players will be unique. Yes, some players will have better AI than other players, but they're so minuscule. And the fact is, you won't notice it in an average game. Okay, I challenge anyone. Go show me 2 gameplay of 2 players. One that's amazing that you really like, one player you don't like that well, and go record both games. Show me both the footages, and I promise you they will not make this movement. They might occasionally make, but that's the thing, occasionally is not enough. If they make that one movement when someone's running out with the centre back, listen, I've seen some people, right, when they record some, I'm not going to say certain things, but when they record some stuff, it's good. And logic makes sense. Doesn't matter what you see. But sometimes when you're showing an example of someone running out with a centre back, then you say the formation is OP. Is it really OP? It's kind of like that. But you have to be aware of these things. It's kind of like, imagine if I used, for example, I don't know, I did a 0 to 60 in a car race, but I put the car on a conveyor belt that's running at 100 miles per hour. Will that give a true indication of the speed of the car when there's some other force helping it? It's kind of like that. So that's why I say don't rely on AI. Even if you show me 2 clips, I promise you that player might make a run here. Let's say that they're both the same instruct. Let's say they're both going to be on balance, okay? Or let's say you both want to put them on get it by whatever you want to do. You're not going to see some amazing differing movement. You're not going to see they're going to be doing roughly the same thing, but don't expect some inverted run. That is all done manually. So when you see a top tier player or pro player play, don't think that they're playing a different game. Something's being different. It's not. It's what they control themselves. But I just wanted to mention that anyway, because I think there's a lot of misinformation out there in regards to it. So is there AI movement? Of course there is. But you're not going to notice a difference when you have a gold player and a top tier player. There might be better runs. Okay, let me give a more realistic example. Let's say Team of the Year Messi. And let's say we compare this to, let's say there's 91 Messi over here. You're not going to make that much of a difference in terms of AI movement. You might, even if you do find that unique movement that Messi player makes now and then, it's not consistent enough. Always do it yourself. Just remember, always do it yourself. And those who want to become the real top tier elite players, that's all you need to know. Forget relying on this AI. Forget relying for players good or not. What are you going to do next year when the game comes out? Are you going to have Team of the Year Messi when the game comes out? No, you're not. Why do you think things work so well with like 15k teams, all these challengers, these pros do? It's not because of the players. Remember that. And I just want to say, also speaking on this note as well, this is coming from someone who literally plays base football. I don't even score headers. Forget Travellas. Forget finesse outside the box. I don't even score headers. Okay, I've never played, although I teach meta, I don't even use skill moves. If anything, I used to use fake shot all the time. Do you know why I don't use skill moves anymore? It's not because I don't want to use it. It's because I'm trying to explain to people like, it's just basic football. That's all you need. But anyway, that's just kind of my opinion on it. You can take it as if you want. Anyway, I challenge anyone. Go show me 2 gameplay clips of a top tier player. And maybe there will be some difference. I'm not saying there won't be a difference. But it's so indifferent and it's so minuscule. It doesn't happen enough in the game. It's not like you have R9 where he runs forward and then he runs back offside again. That doesn't really happen inside the game. You don't see it. But anyways, thanks for watching. Take it easy and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.